If you are an immigrant who's living in the United States on an H-1B visa, an L-1 visa, or even a green card, and if you're planning to invite your parents, relatives, or business associates to the United States on B1 or B2 visas, this story is simple you cannot ignore. A major immigration policy has now become official, and it is already creating a lot of confusion across Indian diaspora. Social media is flooded with claims that every tourist visiting America will now have to deposit $20,000. But is that really true, or is there more to the story? Let's talk about that. The US State Department has officially converted its temporary visa bond pilot program into a permanent federal rule. Under this updated policy, American consular officers now have legal authority to ask certain B1 and B2 visa applicants to deposit a refundable cash bond ranging from $10,000 to $20,000 before their visa approved. This permanent regulation replaces the earlier pilot program that started in 2025 and completely removes the earlier $5,000 minimum bond. Now, the bond amount, it can go as high as $20,000, which is close to 17 lakh rupees for a single traveler. Naturally, the biggest question for Indians around the globe is this: does this apply to India? Will parents traveling from Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, they now have to arrange $20,000 before they can even board a flight to America? Let me help you here. The answer, at least for now, is no. India is not part of the initial list of 50 countries covered under the visa bond program here. Indian passport holders are currently not required to deposit this cash bond while applying for a B2 or B1 visa. But yes, that does not mean Indian families can ignore it. You know why? Because the fine print of the new federal rule clearly says that the list of countries, it's not permanent. US government will continue reviewing visa overstay data and security assessment on a rolling basis. If officials believe that overstay rate from any country increases beyond acceptable limit, they have the authority to add that country to the visa bond limit with just 15 days public notice. That means the policy is designed to expand whether Washington believes it is necessary or not. Well, the visa bond program, it mainly targets the countries that have historically recorded high visa overstay rate or where identity verification and background checks are considered difficult. Well, the first list largely includes about 30 African nations along with neighboring South Asian countries such as Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan. But immigration experts say that the list is dynamic and future conditions remain a possibility. Government data from the first 12 months of the pilot program also explain why the US decides to make the rule permanent. During that period, more than 20,000 applicants, they were asked to post visa bond. Well, the policy reportedly reduced visa approvals among high overstay groups by nearly 83%, as many applicants chose not to proceed after learning about the financial requirement. So, even though India is not currently on the list, the policy is already changing the way US visa officers evaluate applications that are submitted by Indian families. Well, the first major change is stricter scrutiny of financial strength and ties to India. Even without asking for a cash bond, visa officers are now paying much closer attention to whether an applicant has enough reasons to return home or not. If elderly parents or relatives, they do not have a stable income, property ownership, pension records or close family connections in India, well, they could face a higher chance of refusal under Section 214B, where officers conclude that applicant has not demonstrated sufficient non-immigrant intent. The second major change is stronger electronic monitoring after arrival in the US. The new system is integrated with the Department of Homeland Security's exit tracking technology operating on an American airport. Every visitor entering on an B1 or B2 visa is monitored digitally. Even a single day of overstay beyond the authorized period, it can create an immediate compliance record, making future visa applications, extension, or even family-sponsored immigration cases significantly more difficult. Well, the third issue is the possibility of future expansion. According to US estimates, detaining processing and deporting a single visa overstay cost American taxpayers about $18,000. To reduce the cost now, US now has the legal authority to expand the visa bond program without requiring a fresh act.